Hey, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co.
I'm Professor Mike.
And today we're reviewing Next Station Paris and Tokyo and London. All three of these. But we are going to start with Paris, which is the newest one in the series. We'll talk about what the Tokyo and London do differently. These ones have already existed. We just haven't reviewed them on the channel yet. And then we'll give a rating for, I don't know about you, my rating for, well, spoilers to this, my rating for all of them is exactly the same.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. Anyways, with that, let's go ahead and dive into it. Let's start off with Paris. I'll walk you through Paris first, and then we'll dive into the differences these games provide. This is a roll and write game for 1 to 4 players. And, well, flip and write game? A flip and write game for 1 to 4 players. What you're going to be doing every single round is you're going to have your pencil. So if Meg has her pencil, I have my pencil, and they are different colors, and that does matter. Pencils are going to be passed round to round across the 4 rounds, so you'll have a chance to use each pencil because that defines your starting station that you're going to be moving off from. Then in the game, you're going to go ahead and flip a card, and there we go. We got our first one, a wild card to start us off over here. This one, we're going to go ahead and draw a line to either directly a station followed by something else, and the cards are always a little different game to game. We're giving you the general idea over here, and we'll walk through some differences. But over here, this one allows me to go with my purple pencil, either directly to any tourist attraction, which I don't think I have one for a purple pencil spot, so I can't do that, which means I'm just going to go with a regular just movement to any box of my choice. So maybe I go ahead and I say, I'm going to go ahead, I'm just going to go and wander this way and see how this goes for us. There we go. I drew a line there. Meg's going to draw a line from her station with her color, and this is what, keep in mind, she's using a different color right now. The pencils are going to pass. Go ahead, wherever you want.
All right. Let's see. I believe there's no turn one.
I don't think so. That'd be an unfair.
Yeah, I believe there is not for anybody. Let's do this, and I'll cross.
So she's drawing her whole line, and then we go ahead and draw the next card. Now you will notice there's different colors. There's blue cards and non-blue cards. That's important because going through all of the blue cards triggers the end of the round, so it's a variable number of turns. I'm going to go ahead and pick either end of my line and draw a line. So in this case, I'm actually going to go to a tourist attraction because I think they can be worth points. This one is a wild, so even though it's not a triangle, these tourist attractions are wild on this map, and I'm going to go ahead and place that there and score points. Well, we'll talk about scoring points soon. We'll go through another one over here. We'll go through a few cards and then just end it. Maybe we'll do a full round. We'll see. Now you're drawing to a circle spot over here. I'm actually going to intentionally cross this bridge because I think crossing the bridges is good. Well, it's not me. It's the game told me it's good. The game told me it's good. Then we'll go to the next card over here. We have another circle. So now I have to go to a circle once again from one of these spots. And I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there. I might just go down here into this spot over here. I'm really leaning into this little burrow over here, which does matter. We're going to go through here over here. We got a triangle. I'm going to go down here. This is exactly what I wanted. I'm going to go down there. You still going, or?
Yeah, I was thinking.
Gotcha. Well, I'm not sure. I'm not even sure if we're playing or if we're
I don't know.
teaching. We're doing both. We're doing both.
You have to find the symbols.
Then we go over here. This one's going to be this one's going to let you break your chain. So we follow that up with another card right away, and now you can go ahead to that section, but you can now go from anywhere, not just your end of the lines. This is a whatever you call it, the thing where your chain has a new connection point. So now I'm going to go somewhere else, wherever else I can go. Ooh, I'm going to go all the way up here. This is way across the map. This is a little, the problem is you can't draw across lines. This is going to cost me later, but right now it's really good for me because it gives me a bridge connection and it gives me a new burrow, which again, these things will matter soon enough. I'm going to draw another card. We got our 4th station over here. Our 4th station coming out. We got one more station. This will be over. I'm going to go ahead and cross over into here. I'm actually pretty happy with how this is playing out for me. Although I haven't gone to the central terminal, which might be a mistake that I regret later.
I don't think I can connect.
You don't have anything?
Nope, I don't think so.
No. There's no way. Right here.
That happens
right
sometimes. Oh.
You don't want to. You don't have to.
I'm not against that.
Okay. And then we're going to go over here, and we have another one of these. We are just playing a full round. Oh, you can't even see these, I'm realizing. But we got that. Okay. And we're going to a square now. So any square is on the table from any edge that you've gone to. That's the important part. It has to be from an edge. Ooh, I'm going to do this one over here because this will hopefully help me go. And we get one more over here, and that's going to be our final one because now we've drawn our 5th station, which means this is going to be the final one for the round. And so now I'm going to go ahead and draw. I can't go there. I can't go there. I won't be able to cross that ever. I made a mistake. But it's okay. We're not actually finishing this. And then I'll go over here and connect there. There we go. Now, the way you're going to score every single round is going to be slightly different game to game. We're going to walk you through this one. We'll walk you through some general highlights in the other ones, but we'll walk you through this. The basic idea is each grid, one thing that's going to be consistent game to game is in every area, you're going to look at the yellow highlighted section. So we have a section here and the corner, here and the corner, here, 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 the corner, and the center. Those are the number of sections you possibly have access to. So in my case, for example, I have a presence in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different areas. Okay, so I have presence in 5 different areas, and then I'm going to multiply that 5 times the area that I have the most presence in. So that's going to be down here where I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have 4 different spots in there. So I'm going to multiply the 5 times 4, and I'm going to get 20 points plus the 2 different spots that I connected to for 2 points apiece. So 4. So I get a total of 24 points in round 1. That's going to be how we score round 1. Meg, in your case, you have presence in 1, 2, 3 boroughs. Mm-hmm. Okay, so mark off your 3 over there. And what's the presence you have the most in? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it looks like. Mm-hmm. Okay, you visited 2 stations, so you're going to get 19 points. That's basically what you're going to be scoring for a round. Now, at the end of the game, you're going to score for some other things as well. In this game, you're going to be scoring for crossing bridges. Whenever you cross these lines over here, normally you can't cross your own line. These are the exceptions. But whenever you cross them, anyone you've crossed once is 2 points, and anyone you've crossed twice is going to be 6 points. And you can get 2 points whenever you have different lines. So in a future round, when I'm using my green over here, and I go ahead and go down here, and then go down here, this spot over here now has 2 different lines connecting to it, and that will score me points over here. You're going to have points for everyone that has 2, 3, and 4 different areas connecting, and yes, this central interchange works for everything. That's basically what you're going to be doing in this game. You're trying to score for all those things, for presence in neighborhoods, presence for the tourist attractions, presence for crossing those bridges, and getting multiple interchanges together. Now that's the basic game over here. In addition to the basic game, every one of these games is going to come with some things that mix it up. The one consistent one is always going to be missions. So in this case, you'll always have 2 missions in play. You put some missions in play. That could be something specific you're trying to do, which is worth 10 points each if you're able to accomplish them. Additionally, they all give you a rules change. In the case of Paris, that rules change is going to be you're going to pair up a specific corner with a specific ability. So in this case, for example, if we go to this square corner, we'll get this ability. And so you're going to have, every round, you're going to have a new corner and ability that is giving you something to do in play, giving you another incentive to reach those corners. That's going to be the special thing that mixes up Paris. Now with there, before we dive into our review, if you want to talk about what Tokyo adds.
Sure. So over here, we have Tokyo. And we also have the things that it adds, but in Tokyo, you can see the maps really change to make you feel like you're in each city. And in Tokyo, it already starts with a central green line. So there's already one line that's existing, and you'll get -3 points at the end of the game for each stop on that line that you haven't visited. So that's a reason for you to want to interchange there, but where you get points for the amount of lines that meet at a certain place, this also helps you with that. And another thing is there's a special card where you get to move along this green line as well, which can be very cool. But there are also these different boroughs, neighborhoods?
The boroughs is sort of,
I believe.
Sections. It's your mini tourist map, they call it.
So you have this little map, and for each section you visit, you'll get different points depending on how far you can go out. So you get 5 and then 10 points depending on if you can get out to the corners. But another rule change that it adds is that every round you'll pair one of these orange cards with one of these blue cards, and it will have a different ability and effect as well. So you can see here where this is one where you would be able to join along with the green line, like I said. Yeah. And
just more specifically, the areas over here are when you have an interchange in those areas. So that's going to be a way to get there. But yeah, that's going to be Tokyo over there, which means we have London over here. London is going to give you another new map over here. London's map is going to give you the river you're trying to cross over. In London, every time you cross this river, you're going to get 2 points. That's when you're going to be getting points for there. So you're trying to rapidly go back and forth over there. That's going to be one of the main things. And the other thing is you get points for the accelerated number of tourist spots that you visit. Every time you visit a tourist spot, even if it's the same one with a new line, you're going to mark these off, getting a chunk of points for being able to visit as many of those as possible. And then in London, you're going to have these pencil powers, is what they called. Pencil powers will give a power to each pencil that you're going to have is something that they're going to give you, like, you attach this to a pencil and you get a specific power when you're using that pencil that you can use once per round. And then, of course, it gives you goals as well that will mix things up. And that's basically the 3 games, which means it's time for our review, where we're going to talk what we like and don't like, starting off with what we like. What do you like with these games?
Something that I really like is the mechanic of just the 4 different color pencils, where everyone is working on a different line at a different time. I like that usually in a roll and write, everyone's working with the same exact information, and in this we're working with the same cards, but we're working out of different spawn points.
Yeah.
So I do kind of just like how it's taking something that's usually something that everyone's doing the same exact way and making it a bit asymmetric.
Yeah, for me, I like the main thing I like about this game, the main compelling aspect is just how challenging it can be to try to puzzle your way through how you're going to get to everywhere in this game. Because as you're drawing lines in this game, you are constantly getting access to new places, but also blocking yourself off. This giant line I drew across my map, as much as it helped me skip a borough, so I don't have to waste extra spots. Because in general in the game, because of the way you score, you kind of want to have as much presence as possible in one borough, and then only 1 in every other borough. Having 2 in another borough is almost a waste unless you're getting a tourist spot or something something like that. But that means like drawing a line across here is great, except I'm going to pay for that later when I'm trying to cross any of these and lose access to that. There's always a puzzle of how to leave yourself open for the cards that are coming next while managing to connect. And no matter how many times I've played these games, and between all of them, I've played this like 15, 20 times. I played this a lot between all three of these games. No matter how many times I dive into it, I still feel challenged by how to get that reach without hurting myself every single time we play.
Yeah, I also like, too, that all of the maps are very unique, that they do change the rules, and I like that it's a different rule set with each map that you're playing with, but I also really enjoy that, you know, especially particularly when we played in Tokyo, is like it feels different.
Yeah. And I'll say that similar to what you're saying about how the different pencils, what I like most about the idea is many roll and write games or games in the genre will have you creating pathways or just like these routes you're building. I really like the way this game has you building separate routes in the same region, in the same city that you're in every single time. So across the course of the game, you're playing 4 different routes in the same city, and then you really have to make those all work with each other. You have to make them interchange. You want them to touch each other because you get points for that. And every game variation is going to give you points for the interchange you connect. But at the same time, the closer you get to other stations, the more restricted you are, which further adds to that puzzle. So I really like the way this game system said, hey, you like building routes? You're not building one route. You're building 4 different routes in the same city, and you have to both make them connect because it's worth points, but also not do it in a way that blocks yourself, and so it gives you a lot to consider. And then that combined with the various powers and the abilities that they give you missions and then special powers to mix up every single game just gives you even more things you can do. Anything else you like, or time for what you don't like?
I mean, I want what I don't like.
As far as what we don't like, I'll let you go first, because well, I'll let you go first.
Yeah, so for me, this may be what you're going to say.
I think it is, that's why I'm...
Right off the bat, visually, this is a very difficult game.
Oh, no. That's
not
not
what
what
you're
no,
saying?
you're not wrong. I hear you, but not what I'm saying.
Visually, it is difficult. You're working with a bunch of different symbols, and they have these like very light dotted routes around them. And like something that Alex said at first, you can completely block yourself off from something, not realizing it until after it's too late. And working with a sheet like this, where even erasing seems really, really difficult and hard, you don't even want to make mistakes, and you're rather like, I'll just leave it how it is then. And this game is on BGA, and I think that it is a better experience on BGA because that's something that when a new card comes out, it highlights all of the available choices you could possibly make, and I think that's the best way to play this game because for me, I think you can make a lot of suboptimal decisions and then regret it later and not feel satisfied with how you're playing.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. Between the scoring and between the way it tracks things, the board game arena experience is very, very well done. Like, I enjoy this game both in person and on BGA. BGA is definitely a nice way to play the game. For me, the main thing I was going to say is sometimes in the game, and it's weird because part of this is the strategy, don't get me wrong, but sometimes you're still stuck, meaning there are definitely times in the game where you draw a card and it's just not going to help you. And sometimes that's literally a symbol. Sometimes you just don't have access to any triangles based on the way you're set up. Other times the only triangles you have access to are in your burrow and it's just an inefficient play. Other times sometimes trying to go for like that. In like Paris, for example, they have that time where you can get a station and then go one further. And if you don't have access to those tourist attractions, the tourist attractions one further, if you don't have access to those, you just lose a placement. And part of the game is setting yourself up so you don't get into those spots. Don't get me wrong, part of the game is around the strategy. How can I minimize that happening? But even then, it just will happen sometimes. Sometimes you're able to plan around it for 2 turns in a row, but then the 3rd turn happens and it's just going to happen. So those moments are never fun when it's not even about how you're trying to connect. It's about losing placements just because, well, the way you're building your route, you got those things. The way I'm building my route just came out in a bad order for me, but it worked out for you. So those moments will happen in the game, and they're just not feel-good moments. As far as final thoughts on this, where are you?
For me, this is a game that I wanted to enjoy because I do like roll and write. So this is a genre that everything about it is something that would be something I would fall into. But for me, between the confusion of the maps, I never really felt fully engaged with the game. I think that for this one, as much as I want to like it, and there are certain things that are very like Meg coded, like these scoring bonuses you can get and trying to do the crisscross. There are a lot of things that I really enjoyed about the game, and I've been talking a lot about trying solo modes. This is one that I've played the solo mode a couple times on BGA because I just wanted to see if I could get into a better swing of the strategy and how I felt with it, but it just never resonated with how my brain works. So for me, I'm going to rate this at a 3 because I just, for me, it just doesn't resonate with how I play games.
I like this one a lot. I really enjoy the puzzle of it. I find that I definitely hear you on the abstract, on the symbology and the ease of looking at everything in there, but Ultimately, for me, the challenge of trying to make multiple lines work within one city is the main reason I find this very, 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 very compelling. For me, this is a 4 out of 5. I really enjoy the puzzle. I really enjoy the different maps and the different boxes. And I do agree with you that I think most of my plays of this will probably be on Board Game Arena, but I still want this one in my collection, at least for now. And as far as recommendations.
Yes. So something that makes me think similarly with all the different colors is Draft and Write Records. That's one where you're working toward like a lot of different things. It is just it's a draft and write. So it's not exactly similar, but I think it is a very satisfying game, and it is a draft and write as opposed to flip and write.
And for me, if you like the challenge of different routes but in a very different box, definitely check out Railroad Inc. I think it is a delightful little game. Also about building routes and connecting them. Also about managing a whole district and grid and multiple intertwining routes, but done in a very different fashion. Very, very, very different in many ways.
I thought you were going to say that one.
Yeah, check it out. I was debating between that and On Tour. You can check it out On Tour as well, but I think Railroad Inc. shares a little bit more DNA with this one. Definitely worth checking out. In any case, until next time, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co.
I'm Professor Meg.
And have a good one.
Bye.